Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for Grow My Bag TV. I had about 11 points I needed to make in the Crypto Minute, and I did not get to all of them. It didn't even come close. I think I hit like six, right? Let's see, there was Bitcoin surge versus Coinbase taking a dive, and certain miners taking a dive on in their stocks. The IRS requiring $10,000. You know what? I'm not even going to read your list. Let's just dive into it. So Coinbase suffered about a 10% drop, right? And I think it's kind of interesting because what it means is that, yeah, I'm taking some profit off the top. When you look at things like this, there's nothing wrong with Coinbase. There's nothing wrong with their business model. There's no news that's hitting them that's hurting them right now. So the only thing that I can equate that to is people are taking profit, right? So if I see 10% drop in Coinbase, what am I doing? I'm contemplating picking up some Coinbase. Why? Because I like to play the stocks and the cryptos. Just saying. The same thing has been happening to certain miners where they're taking a little bit of a hit. And that hit could actually come from them taking a little bit of a profit from current market rates. And just a little bit. They know they're doing more work to create more Bitcoin, all that good stuff, increasing their hash rates, all that good stuff. But when you really break it down, they're doing the same thing. They're taking a little bit of profit off the table as they keep that engine going. They think that because of these moves that they're going to see a $50,000 Bitcoin. And I'm sitting back and I'm going, that's not hard. That's not hard from where we are right now. We're above 45, give or take. Right? That's the tight range that we're trading in. We'll see that later when I go over the numbers. But that's the tight range that we're trading in right now. So we should be paying attention to those kinds of things and paying attention to their moves. Why? Because they're all about Bitcoin. The miners, that is. Something else that I'm paying attention to. Bernie Sanders is called out. He often calls out Wall Street, but he's saying that there is a certain level of dominance that BlackRock has over the market. And if they get approved with their new Bitcoin spot ETF, they might have even more of dominance, of that dominance. I don't know about that. I don't think what happens with a Bitcoin spot ETF approval having that kind of effect at all. Here's why. There are 13 companies that are going to be approved. 13 firms that will be approved. Even if you just said, well, 10 of them got their paperwork right. Because at the last minute, I forgot who it was a Grayscale that just did some last minute changes to their application. Okay, fine. But when you sit back and you look at all that, there are 13 companies. So BlackRock's not just going to be able to come into the market and command a certain price. So they're going to have to figure out their pricing points. That's going to be a very big deal because everybody else is figuring out their pricing points too. So I'm expecting there to be immediate competition. Okay. Then you also have to think about, of those 13, a lot of them are facing retail investors. And what I mean is that it's easier for some of these firms to gain real estate investment because they deal closer to the common person or the common investing person, as opposed to the super rich, super wealthy, all that kind of stuff. So I think there's going to be a lot of competition. So I don't know that I buy into what Bernie Sanders has to say. Michael Saylor, smart dude. He's selling off about another $216 million worth of stock options so that he can buy more crypto, buy more Bitcoin specifically. Smart, very smart. Why? Because if he buys more Bitcoin now, he knows that probably in less than a month, he's going to be even more in the black. That's why. Again, I go back and I look at MicroStrategy and I go, this is the business. They're in the software business. That's what the business is supposed to be in. Are they now making more money over here in crypto than they are in their main business? Just saying. Which means that if you're a shareholder, you could be doing really well. Then you have Morgan Stanley. I have not heard a lot out of Morgan Stanley as of late, but they've just created a new $140 million fund or pool of cash for Bitcoin investment. And that's smart because they can see what's coming. They can absolutely see what's coming, right? And then I was reading an article earlier this morning. I mean, it's 6:44 a.m. where I am, so it's even earlier this morning. Radiant Capital got hit. Radiant Capital is a DeFi protocol. They got hit for about 1.9, 1,900 ETH was stolen. So they're definitely digging into how that happened, all that good stuff. So I'll be paying attention to that. Again, anything in the DeFi space, I'm taking a really deep dive into what am I trying to do? Has, where I'm at, the protocol that I'm using, have they been hacked? When was the last time they were hacked? Because I ride motorcycles, and it's just like, every motorcycle rider. There are two kinds. Those that have been down and those that are going down. So it's the same thing in the DeFi space. There are those that have been hacked and there are those that are going to be hacked. And I want to know, how do they handle the situation? That's going to be the big question. That is the really big question. Something else that's going on at the regulatory level, there are a lot of regulations going on, and we should be paying attention to that. And the reason why is because with all of these regulations that are going on, they're each affecting us. The regulations around the world, people like to think, oh, I'm in my country, that regulation doesn't affect me. It does kind of affect you because there are indirect impacts on how businesses can operate in countries around the world. And, what gets affected in one country might cause effect in another country. So the EU is looking at, how do cryptos get, funded, all that kind of stuff. How do they interact with traditional finance? Because they're saying that, even though they have the micro rules, there could be loopholes where there could be, risk. So I'm definitely paying attention to that, because whatever happens in the EU can definitely affect everything else around the world. Now, Ripple has released some XRP specifically for IT cross-border payments. And I'm really paying attention to that. Why? Because Ripple is establishing itself as basically the cross-border payments king. Now, there are other ways that you can do cross-border payments, and I suspect that we'll start to see those pop up. But right now, Ripple is in the news with everything that they're doing. They need a little bit of competition in that space, I think. A little bit more competition. Now, the UAE, more regulation, is looking into more guidance for virtual assets and virtual asset service providers, right? And I'm only going to touch on this because, again, so you've got the UAE, you've got the EU, right? You even have new regulations in the UK, right? OKX is actually testing out new services, new features in the UK because of some of those new regulations. So with all of these new regulations around the world, again, how a company does business in a given country can affect how they do business in other countries. So I pay attention. So those of you that are using OKX, pay attention to what they got going on in the UK, because that might trickle out to other areas, including the United States, right? Because companies don't want to operate 50 million different business models. It's costly and ineffective. They want to operate as close to a single business model as possible. So if they've got best practices that can fit, they're going to use those best practices. Just saying. And then, of course, you have Satoshi Kusama dropping hints, and the rest of the developers dropping hints about what's going on over at Shiba Inu, and they just keep dropping those hints. And I'm here for it. I am here for it. I love SHIB. Just love it. My son, I don't know if you guys realize this, but I think I said this a while ago. My son actually introduced me into, to SHIB. And we've been investing ever since. Did the research, started investing. We started investing when it was a meme. And when I hear somebody say, "Oh, Shiba Inu, another meme," no, sir. No, ma'am. It is not a meme anymore. It might have started as a meme, But you can't say, with everything that they have going on now, what's currently known to be on their roadmap and all of these little hints. You cannot tell me that they are a meme. You cannot compare Pepe and Bonk and all these other meme coins to what Shiba Inu has going on. They're operating a real deal project. And I'm not saying those other projects aren't flipping and doing what they need to do to move from meme, that meme tag to real project status. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is Shiba Inu is not a meme coin. They mean business. I wouldn't be looking at anything in the top 25 and saying, oh, that's a meme. Have you lost your mind? Billions in market cap, not a meme. Doge, to me, is not a meme. I don't think it has a use case, or it has the same basic use case that everybody else has. To me, there's nothing special about Doge. Start there. But then it's not a meme. Started as a meme, then started getting a little bit serious. If you're in the United States, you don't realize that in other parts of the world, Doge is actually widely used for transactions. But as you look at other players in the space with faster speeds, cheaper fees, I told you about scale yesterday, you're looking at something different. Anyway, you know what we should do? Oh, I didn't put my mic on. I feel like a stepchild now. I have to change its location anyway. But what we should do, because, this is where my picture shows up. I should put the watermark like over here somewhere, over toward the other side of the screen, and up a little bit. But let's get to the numbers. Those are all my notes. And if you look at my notes, just so that you know, when you see my notes up, that link takes you to, and I'll put them, in the video on YouTube. I'll put them in the video, and obviously on my site, the articles are already there. But these are the articles and the summaries of each one of the articles that I've taken care of, that I've written. But let me refresh the data on this puppy, because it's been about 10-15 minutes since I refreshed this data. Now let's look to see who's up. So this whole list, right, is down over 6%. So I will be paying attention. Filecoin down 6%, not something that I hold. We were talking about Near Protocol yesterday, 6% down. Flow, something I do like. Not holding any right now, maybe a little bit. I have to check one of my ancillary wallets. Down 6%. Render is down 6%. Celestia is down 6%. Bonk is down 6%. Wow. Injective down 7%. Algorand down 8%. They were down yesterday as well. Solana is down 8%. Definitely profit taking. Who else am I paying attention to? That's about it. That's about it on this list that I'm paying attention to. Right now, on the other side, on the winning side, you actually don't have a lot of winners. You go up to about here. Arbitrum is up 6%. I don't play with Blur, but they're up 9%. Scale, I just told you about, up another 10%. At Star, I told you about them, up another 11%. My boy Morgan hit me off with a Star, which is why I did the research, which is why they're on my watch list. So that's kind of cool. That's very cool. Again, today you've got the Fed meeting minutes from December coming out today about 2 p.m. You have some initial job numbers, but really Friday's the day for the job numbers. Fear and Greed Index is about 70. Yesterday it was like 71, as it says right here, 71. Not bad. Last month, December, I think the high right there saying it was 60. It was 74. Yeah, I can see that. I can believe that. Because it's one thing to look at a calculated fear and greed index, and it's another thing to actually, be speaking with a lot of people and feeling the pulse of the people and seeing if I agree with, with the numbers that they're coming back with. Down a little bit on total TVL, which is $73.5 billion. Not really worried about that, but I do pay attention. Why? Because I want to see who's investing in what and what my returns could be. That's why. Right? So 7-day change, this is what I'm talking about. Liquid staking, look at this. A lot of these places are giving more than your local bank. This is why I pay attention to this stuff. Everything that you pick up is everything that you're going to learn. Okay. Bitcoin trading right now at 44,133. Again, look at this. Look at this tight trading range. Here's the broader range from about a little above 40,000 up to about 45 and change, right? Up to about where is it? Little bit under 46, right? That's what I'm paying attention to, folks. How are we moving? Because right now, you saw us pop up a bit right here and then profit taking. I know I use that term a lot, but really that's what it is, because there's no negativity right now. There's nothing major in the market right now that tells you there's going to be huge negativity. Facts. Now, I'm scoping for buying opportunities. Bitcoin, obviously, right? Solana, obviously. I bought in yesterday, gonna dive in a little bit more today. Why? Because I think Solana has the capability of outperforming Bitcoin again this year, even with everything else that's going on. And the reason why is because there are certain coins, there are certain projects that just move faster. Bitcoin, the coin, has a totally different use case versus the rest of the coins. And I just think Solana, Matic, I think a few of these coins are going to outperform. XRP really hasn't done a lot, but don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on it at all, because I'm expecting them to surge. As Bitcoin moves up, I'm expecting XRP to surge to above $1 by the end of the year. Seriously. There you go. There you are with anything in deep red, I'm paying attention to. So Injective, AVAX, Near, Filecoin, Link, and Matic are top of my list. Why? Because I love the freaking protocols. I love those projects. They are connective tissue. Them, Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and I'm also paying attention to what's going on with HBAR, because they use a different way with their projects. So I'm paying attention. Injective, another one. Aptos is another one. Lido is another one I pay attention to. So there are a lot of coins I pay attention to the top 100, and then there are a few meme coins that I have in a list that I kind of, I peep them, and whether or not I should get in or not, and what the timing should be, right? That's how I look at things. Looking at it from a numeric perspective, again, I told you last night that I pay attention to what the year to date is, and then I go look at, how it's moving over the past few hours, 1 day, 2 day, that kind of thing. So when I look at year to date for Bitcoin, there you go. Bitcoin is at 3.21%, 3.27 now. Then you skip on down to here. BNB is at 4%. Solana is at 2.77. These, for me, because we're at the beginning of the year, this is kind of allowing me to see, well, what kind of pace is a particular project going to be on in the last little bit, right? In the last couple of days. Looking at Cardano, not moving much, but there you are. Avalanche, 3.21%. So again, you're seeing coins that are coming close to outperforming or outperforming Bitcoin. And a lot of these coins are I want you to stop and think about this. You know what? Let me go back to my spreadsheet. I want you to think about this. So if I'm looking at coins, I want you to pay attention to one specific thing. These are the all-time high changes, right? Pay attention to the all-time high changes. Because Bitcoin, if you look at the number right now, 44,500, about round about there, Bitcoin isn't that far off of its all-time high, right? It's not a multiple off its all-time high. It's a fraction off its all-time high. So when I look at the rest of these coins, and I take a peek, I'm like, wait a minute. Let me see if I can find a good here's Solana. Solana 60% off their all-time high. This is what I'm paying attention to. So when I look at how far off you are from your all-time high versus, actually, do I have those numbers up? Let me see if I have it in order. That's the market cap. Bear with me. I'm trying to find the all-time high. There it is. 69,045. All right. Only 35% off its all-time high. Solana 60% off its all-time high. Just saying. So when you go down the list, Ethereum is off 52% off its all-time high. Right? So when I look at things, I'm looking at that and I'm saying, well, do I have more potential of earning money off of some of these other coins versus Bitcoin? Probably. Probably. Right? That's why I pay attention to this. Okay? This is why. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto. Hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, drop me a note. I love hearing from you guys. And if you have an idea about how I can make things better for you, right, in terms of what I'm delivering, how I'm delivering it, let me know. And remember, what I report on video is written up on the website, growmybag.tv. Hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.